Hello everyone, this is Rick Powers from Western Technical College. I am recording this video to demonstrate for you how to use Microsoft Excel in order to analyze statistics when you have two variables. We talked about it in class some, and now I want to show you more details about how this works. So I'm in Blackboard and I'm looking at the resources section, and when I go to the new notes part here, I scroll down and I see how to use Excel for correlation and regression. So correlation, as we talked about in class, is to find out a number which describes the strength of a linear relationship. And so I'm going to show you how to do correlation, but I'm also going to show you how to do regression, which is how to find the equation of the best fit line that goes through the points for a data set. So I'm going to use these particular values as they're listed here. So I'm going to pull up Excel here, and I'll make the font size larger just so that you can see it a little better. And so then it's a matter of actually putting in these numbers that I want. And I'll just type this in because you'll need to be able to type these things in when you're doing your homework. So this is 8, 9, 10, 11, and 15. And this is 7, 5, 2, 1, and -6. So this is like if you're the hours that you spend at work and a score for your attention, so that if you spend a lot of time, then you're not able to pay as good attention. If you spend too much time, your attention goes negative. It's just a made-up set of data. So now what we want to do is that we want to take this information that we have, and we then want to create the scatter plot for it. And we can do that if we go to the Insert menu on Excel, and there's a little picture here that has dots in it, and it says Insert Scatter. So that's what we want to do. But first, before we actually hit that button, we're going to select this data. So I select the data first, including the titles here, and then I click on the scatter plot, and I pick the first option, and it gives the scatter plot. I'll move my face up here a little bit. So this here then is showing us that as the hours increase, then the attention is going to decrease. So what I have here then is a negative relationship. And the question would be, is it a linear relationship? Can I say that it would be a straight line relationship? Now, when I create this graph, then it looks like this. I could change the scale here because I don't need to have all this go to 0. I could start this part of it with 6, for example. And so in order to change that, and you don't have to actually make this change, but when you click and select the graph, you can then select one of these numbers and it will select that entire set of numbers. Then we can right click on it and we format the axis. And let's just say I want to start with a minimum of 6. So I can do that and hit enter. And then I do have to close that right here. So I can close that part of it and then just click off of it. And so now it just looks a little bit better to not have all that white space over there. So it's good generally to have your graph so that it only includes the data that you have. It doesn't have to go to 0, either on the horizontal or on the vertical scale. So now what we want to do in order to, now that we see it, and as I said in class, we should always graph the data because we need to see what it looks like so that we can see if it's actually giving us what we want. If we want to find the correlation of these numbers, then I can click anywhere on here, and then I hit the equal sign and type, and it can be small letters or capital letters, CORREL. And Excel, as you can see on the screen, it tells me what I'm doing. I want the correlation coefficient. Then I put a left parenthesis, and notice that with Excel, I have one set of data, and then a comma, and then the second set of data. So I'm going to use my mouse to do this. See how Excel fills it in with the column number and the cell numbers A2:A6. That's how it keeps track of the data. And then I need a comma to put the second set of data. So I put that here. And then I can either put right parenthesis, or I can just hit enter, and it'll give me this correlation number. Now, because I have this relatively small, and you can see this number is negative, because it's a negative relationship, I get a negative value for the correlation. And it's very strong because it's almost equal to -1. So these are almost exactly on a straight line. So there's my correlation. But now what I want to do is I want to actually find the equation of the line that goes through these points. So I'm going to right click on one of these points, and over here it has this. You right click on one of the points of the graph, and then you see where it says add trend line. I click on that, and you see the trend line. And when I go down here, I want to display the equation on the chart. That's what I want. So then when I close this, now you can see that here is the equation. And I can move it around if I want to see it a little bit better. But this equation right here then, this is what I'm going to want for the next homework assignment, is to be able to know what are these numbers for this line that goes through these points. We'll talk about that more later, but I wanted you to see how that actually works with this. So now you've seen this process. You can see how to enter the data, how to find the correlation by using that command CORREL with the data values, and then how to, once you have a chart, you can find out what these numbers are, which give you the equation of that line. I hope that's helpful for you, so that you'll be able to be able to do the homework for next time, and we'll talk more about that equation of the line and what that means later.